The silence between stars is not empty. Book of Cain. A figure seals Norgannon's discs in Ulduar, glyphs void erased. Beyond, the veil of eternal blossoms bleeds light where Aman'Thul ripped Shaarj from Azeroth. The Pantheon's silence speaks volumes. What was buried in stone might yet unravel the cosmos. The Discs of Norgannon were never meant to be read. Norgannon's archive, a monument to Azeroth's history, hides an unwritten truth, the Titan's first betrayal. A footnote in Chronicle Vol 1 whispers of faces, etched in void-erased silence you hear why Shaarj's absence became a trap. The Pantheon did not kill the old gods, they sealed them in a lie, and the stone still breathes. The Pantheon's first foundry burned in Zurith Mortis. Norgannon's forge arms shaped the discs from star metal and silence. Here in the First One's workshop, the Titans learned to bend time to stone. The Black Empire's flesh architecture pulsed older, its cities breathing with the old gods' rot. Before Titan hammers fell, before Azeroth's crust bore colossi, void meteorites had already rooted. Their corruption was no accident, it was a harvest. Norgannon's discs were meant to archive truth. Truth is a fickle god. The foundry's heat warped what it could not consume. Void-erased knowledge thrums in each disc's Korea language of absence. The Black Empire's spires, built from unborn world's flesh, still drip with the old god's blood. The Pantheon did not merely record history. They buried it. The First Ones watched Norgannon's hands tremble. The disc's inscriptions shift when read, dissolving like smoke. What was carved was never meant to be known. The old gods, blind in their kingdom, raised cities that would choke on their own breath. The Pantheon's records are a labyrinth without exit. To read them is to wander a hall of mirrors, each reflection a lie polished by Titan hands. The stone still breathes. The discs remember what the Pantheon cannot unsee. The Black Empire was never conquered, it was complicit. The stone still breathes. The discs' etched faces tell of chains forged in twilight, how the Pantheon caged in Zoth Thun, Yogg-Saron in voidless voids. Their unwritten sides are not empty, they are sealed. Norgannon's hand erased what the Pantheon could not unmake, the truth that their imprisonment was a gambit. The old gods were not bound by light, they were bound by fear. The curse of flesh rot that turns Titan steel to mortal bone was no accident, it was a weapon. A slow unraveling, 1,000 threads of decay spun into every living thing. The disc's void-erased sections hold the map to that corruption's origin. Why? Because the Titans knew their creation would falter. They left a failsafe not in light, but in silence, in knowledge buried so deep even the Pantheon's eyes could not reach. The trap is not in the words, it is in the gaps. The unwritten faces are a vault, a Titan-designed lock to cage what the Pantheon's chains could not. And Norgannon eternal scribe, silent judge, chose to hide it, deliberately. The Pantheon's records are not sacred, they are a lie with a time limit. The stone still breathes, but the void still hungers, and the discs are waiting. Norgannon bore the discs first, his titanic hands cradled the void's first seal. The Watchers, silent sentinels of stone and starlight, carried them through the Black Empire's collapse. Tyr's spear of the Watchers was not his own. The aspects lifted it after his sacrifice, their wings casting shadows over the shattered Pantheon. The dragon's soul was not a gift. An aspect bore it, a living vault of stolen time, its scales etched with the old god's unspoken name. The Lich King did not choose Frostmourne. Yogg-Saron's whisper shaped Ner'zhul's husk, then Artha's blade a conduit for the infinite's hunger. The disc's last bearers stood at the sundering's edge. Watchers, their faces hollowed by eons, clutched the stone as inscriptions flared. Light tore through the void's chains, shattering the Black Empire's hold, but the Pantheon's scribes left no record of what the discs revealed. Only gaps where names should be, only silence where truth was buried. The Watchers knew, the aspects knew. The Lich King, a puppet of Shaarj, knew, yet the discs remained sealed, their unwritten faces waiting. The void hungers still. And the stone breathless waits for the next hand to break the seal. But the disc's true purpose was never containment, it was deception. Void-erased knowledge reveals the Titan's first betrayal. The Pantheon buried it not to seal the old gods, but to silence their own shame. The Pantheon built order on a lie, containment, not destruction. That was their creed. Azeroth's world soul bends to all 6 cosmic forces, a fact they buried. What does a god do when the void wears their face? The discs hold the answer, etched in absence. Their unwritten faces are not just a vault for ancient evils, they are a mirror. The Titans sealed their own chains alongside the old gods. A paradox, the architects of order became prisoners of their own design. Grief hums in the silence between their missing words. The Pantheon feared what Azeroth's duality revealed. To cage the void, they needed to become cages. Only the world soul's duality made this possible. A host body enough to hold light and rot, the disc's erasure is no accident, it is a confession. The Titans could not unmake the void, so they hid their failure in plain sight. Let mortals worship the records. Let them carve prayers into stone that cannot speak. The unwritten faces warn of a hunger no god can escape, even order decays. Even Titans break. The Pantheon's prison is not just for the old gods, it is a tomb for their pride. Azeroth's soul, unique in the cosmos, bears their shame. It whispers through every chisel mark, every gap in the text. The void does not need to corrupt, it only waits. And the gods who built their order on a lie now share its hunger. Their prison is themselves. The Discs of Norgannon slumber in Ulduar's deepest vaults. Their surfaces, polished smooth by Titan hands, hold no scriptingly void-erased silence. The Watchers guard this silence still, bound by oaths older than the Pantheon's fall. What knowledge was stripped from those faces? A betrayal etched in absence, a truth the Titans buried beneath their own lies. The Pantheon's Watchers were never meant to watch the old gods alone. Their vigilance seals a deeper wound. The moment Azeroth's creators turned blade on their makers, the Pantheon's records are not sacred. They are a cage, and cages rust. The Watchers, now hollow shells of their makers' intent, whisper in static to the discs. Do they remember why they were built? The answer lies in what was erased, not what was written. The void erased what the Titans could not unmake. What remains are silent witness-escold, circular truths etched in a language the old gods once spoke. The Pantheon's order is no triumph. It is a glyph, a cage built by hands that bled the same primordial void they now deny. The discs whisper of patience older than time. The old gods do not rot, they wait. Their influence seeps through every chisel mark, every deliberate flaw in the Pantheon's design. A monument's weakness is its message. What the Pantheon sealed was not chaos but memory, a first betrayal written in the spaces between symbols. The discs are not records. They are anchors Titan-forged weights on a tide that will rise again, and in the quiet between stars, the void hums. Not with hunger but with memory, the Pantheon's chains wait to break. What else did the Titans bury in the Black Empire's dust? The Discs of Norgannon hold void-scoured truths. Aman'Thul's hand rent Shaarj from Azeroth not to seal it, but to cage a whisper older than time. Next, the heart of Shaarj.